Hello there and welcome back to Gemma Movie Recap. Today I'm going to recap Nobody, a 2021 action, thriller, and drama film. Nobody is about Hutch Mansel, a suburban father, a neglected husband, not anybody's neighbors. When two thieves broke into his home one night, Hutch's smoldering, faceless rage ignited and set him on a brutal path that would lead him to uncover dark secrets that would lead him to the death of his family he struggled to leave behind. Warning, spoilers ahead. Please be cautious. But before we start, please support our channel by subscribing and click the bell icon for future notifications. Now, let's start. The film opens in an interrogation room. Hutch Mansel was bruised and bloody, holding a feral cat and feeding it tuna before lighting a cigarette. The detective asked who he was. He said he was nobody. A few days earlier, Hutch was shown to have a regular life, from his morning exercise to his daily commute to his deadlocked job and his constant failure to catch the garbage truck. He is married to real estate agent Becca and they have two children, Blake and Sammy. Hutch and Becca have been estranged for a while, and Blake doesn't think much of his father. One night, while Hutch was checking his kids, he looked into Blake's room and saw his son gesturing downstairs as if there had been a burglary. Hutch quietly descends to find a couple, Luis and Lupita, trying to raid. Lupita spotted Hutch and pointed a gun at him, who calmly told her to take the money from the cash register in the kitchen. The two also demanded Hutch's watch and wedding ring, but he only let them take his watch. When they tried to escape, Blake handled Luis and locked him up. Lupita approaches them with the gun when Hutch attempts to hit him with a golf club, but he stops and tells Blake to let Luis go. He did, and Luis punched him in the face before he and Lupita ran away. The police arrived later, and Hutch felt guilty for what had happened. Blake and the response officer criticized Hutch for inaction. At work, Hutch's boss/father-in-law Eddie tells her about the incident. Hutch receives a gun from Becca's brother Charlie for his safety. In his hideout, Hutch then talks to his brother Harry on the radio to not shoot thieves, as he saw Lupita's gun unloaded. Hutch then visits his father, retired FBI agent David, who notes that he doesn't look well. Hutch tries to move on with his life, but he can't get rid of the regret he felt for not being there for his family when they needed him. Hutch assumes the robbers grabbed Sammy's cat bracelet when she complains that it's missing, so he boards a bus. He sneaks over to David's house while he's sleeping to grab his old FBI badge and gun, but when David notices him, Hutch simply states that he has business to attend to. Hutch visits many tattoo parlors to ask around till he finds a sketchy one after recalling a tattoo on Lupita's wrist. Hutch is intimidated by the other men present until one of them spots a tattoo on his wrist that resembles a pair of playing cards. After expressing gratitude to Hutch for his assistance, the man leaves immediately. When the tattoo artist sees that Hutch is serious, he directs him to the person who had the tattoo. After discovering Luis and Lupita's residence, Hutch rushes it. They give up the watch when he pistol whips Luis. But they don't have Sammy's bracelet. Hutch then notices that the two have a sick infant and begs him to leave. Hutch storms outside in the pouring rain and lashes out at a brick wall. Hutch then boards a bus headed home. Following a drunken automobile wreck, a gang of men enters and starts to harass the other passengers, including a single young woman. In order to take care of them, Hutch commands the bus driver to exit. He starts a fight with the men, who deliver a few solid blows to him, but Hutch quickly dominates them. He is stabbed in the side as they draw a knife on him, but he continues and manages to stab a number of them before being tossed out the window. Hutch is able to stand up again and rejoin the fight inside the bus. When the other guys are down, one of them, Teddy, gets Hutch's gun and attempts to shoot him, but Hutch grabs a pole out of the bus, disarms Teddy, and then beats him till he cracks his windpipe. Hutch performs a tracheotomy on Teddy as he begins to suffocate in order to retain his breathing. He then makes his way home and finds out Becca is still awake. She observes him being beaten and understands what he has been up to because she is familiar with Hutch's past. He tells her that it's been bothering him that they haven't been close in a while she tends to his stab wound. Mobster Yulian Kuznetsov shows up at a local nightclub, dances, and meets with some other partners to discuss the safety of their joint fortune, the Obshak. Due to his propensity for dancing and other eccentricities, the others have doubts about Yulian's ability, but when he uses the stem of a broken martini glass to slice the face and throat of an Obshak stockholder for looking at him incorrectly, Yulian demonstrates that he is not to be trifled with. The others raise their glasses to his passing because it will bring them more money. As Julian arrives at the hospital, Teddy, his younger sibling, is there in that state. The medical professionals inform him that he has irreparable brain damage. He brutally questions Teddy's friends about what occurred and who was to blame. Harry calls Hutch and informs him that Julian has noticed him and claims he is dangerous. In order to learn more about Julian, he advises Hutch to go see a man by the name of the Barber. When Hutch arrives downtown, he discovers his barber was waiting for him. He hands Hutch a file on Julian that highlights his aggressive nature and the fact that the Obshak is in charge of guarding millions of dollars in mob cash. Any information she can find about Hutch is dug out by Julian's henchwoman. She threatens her FBI informant with unflattering photos of him till he digs through the records and discovers highly sensitive information on Hutch. The henchwoman flees and leaves Julian on his own when she learns that Hutch was formerly a brutal killer. Then he issues a command to every guy under him to go for Hutch and capture him alive. He is placed in the trunk by the shooters as they get ready to return to Julian with him. Hutch, however, awakens inside the trunk and opens it. He gets a fire extinguisher and opens the back seat after realizing he can't simply roll away, dousing the car in flames and sending the assailants flying. One of Julian's men is still alive as Hutch emerges from the back and discovers him bleeding out while being pinned under the car. Hutch explains to the man that he was once an auditor, which is simply a kind of hitman that everyone knows to be feared. Hutch contacts David and cautions him to be careful as he runs back to his house. Sammy's eyes are then covered so she won't see the multitude of dead bodies inside the house as he releases his family from the panic room. Becca then requests that Hutch guarantee that he goes back to them after sending her and the children to a secure location. The gunman's remains, along with one who is barely still alive, are gathered by Hutch and brought to the basement. When he recalls his most recent mission when he ended up killing a man who was stealing money but who begged for his life instead of doing so, Hutch understood the man was sincerely sorry for what he had done and let him go. He eventually located the man and discovered that he had been happily married with 2 children. Hutch acknowledged that his decision to quit his job and settle down was motivated by jealousy. Then, as he leaves to take care of other business, he douses the area in kerosene and sets the entire house on fire. Hutch offers to buy the property of Eddie and presents him with a bag of gold bars. Charlie tries to assault Hutch because he believes he will lose his job as a result of this, but he only manages to get punched in the gut. Hutch begins to alter the space and lay booby traps across the area as Eddie collects the cash. Then, after finding the Obshak and killing every guard there, he burns all of Julian's money. 2 of Julian's thugs visit a nursing facility where Hutch left David in the interim. They attempt to capture him when he is dozing, but David is ready and kills one of the bad guys with a firearm before smothering the other. Having a meal there, Hutch visits Julian's nightclub. Hutch is surrounded by gunmen until he admits to having a claymore mine tied to his finger as a backup. They are sent away by Julian so that they can speak with Hutch, who informs the mob leader that he has destroyed all he owns. When Julian learns the Obshak is missing, she loses it. Julian and his soldiers chase after Hutch as he flees. Hutch takes them on a rapid pursuit through the streets, where he kills a number of men before returning to the warehouse. The bad guys arrive at the warehouse and start shooting at Hutch. The 2 men who came to assist Hutch, Harry and David, suddenly catch him off guard. They kill numerous goons by shooting, stabbing, and blowing them up while forcing them to step over booby traps like a device that throws bars to impale the thugs or another that explodes them. When Julian is left with the 3, she makes a promise to find Hutch's entire family. The mine is subsequently grabbed by Hutch, who then attaches it to a bulletproof window. As he approaches Julian while sprinting, he pulls the pin, killing him by throwing Julian against the wall. Just as the police arrive, Hutch appreciates Harry and David for helping him but asks them to leave. The cat is then discovered and taken with him. Return to Hutch being questioned by the investigators as he continues to merely admit to being a complete nothing. The 2 later get phone calls, but they are compelled to allow Hutch to go despite the fact that nothing is spoken or heard. Hutch and Becca are both looking at new homes 3 months later. After that, Hutch calls the real estate agent. Although nothing else is heard when he answers it, it is hinted that Hutch is still being sought after. Then he and Becca inquire about the home's basement. Thanks for tuning in to this movie recap. I hope you found it enjoyable and insightful, and that it helped you gain a better understanding of the story. If you found this video useful, please hit the like button and share your thoughts in the comments below. And remember to subscribe to our channel so that you never miss out on our latest movie recaps and other exciting content. Your support is crucial in helping us keep creating high-quality videos like this one. Once again, thank you for watching, and we can't wait to see you at our next one.